Dear ones, companions, citizens, colleagues, conscious, intelligent, and sentient beings beyond limitations of labels and language, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Considering that, all being equal, whenever time you are perceiving, whatever experiences of that, and however you came to be here now. Greetings, gratitude, and welcome to Earth and our ships. As we continue in our conditions as conscious, intelligent, and sentient beings, let us guide our awareness beyond the limitations of labels and language to concepts for our considerations and communications being of that which we share, us, and seemingly interrelating and interconnecting us is consciousness, as we may be consciously expanding our perspectives to understanding the possibilities and potentialities of these concepts, categories are perhaps infinite, infinitesimal, and incomprehensible. However, considering that, us, and as we continue in our conditions, let us guide our awareness to understanding and creating ships that may be interrelating and interconnecting us.
You feel so lost, so cut off, so alone. Only you're not. See, in all our searching, the only thing we've found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
What happens now?
Now, you go home.
Now that we've found one another, let us consider concepts of ships and question how we relate us. How are we related, connected? What is our understanding? What is our meaning of that? Components, considerations, and contributions seemingly infinite, infinitesimal, and incomprehensible. Then why does this matter? Why care, relate, and communicate perspectives of meaning and value to one another? And what are our contributions to this matter? What choices and challenges are we able to perceive? And what are we realizing and creating with our understanding of ships that may be unknown and beyond limitations of labels and language? So then, as we continue and consider, let us be receptive to perspectives of understanding and creating ships that may be interrelating and interconnecting us. Since time immemorial, Homo sapiens have been relating, connecting, bonding, contributing to, and creating ships. Indigenous cultures, such as, not limited to, the Siksika, translated as Blackfoot, Confederacy nations, and with the Siksika and Kainai First Nations people considering, relating, relatives, relationships, and perspectives of understanding, such as Minopimatisiwin, with numerous variations of spelling and meaning, is most easily translated as leading a good life. Indigenous views of well-being are a mixture of self-actualization and playing a valued role in one's community. Among Indigenous peoples, these two concepts are interconnected. In the last century, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs was inspired based on the teachings he received from the Kainai people in Alberta during the 1930s. The hierarchy of needs seems attention on the individual. His triangle stops where the Siksika triangle begins, as referenced from Ensoling Our Schools. Relating, connecting, and expanding our understanding further with Barry Commoner and the first law of ecology, everything is connected with everything else. Albert Durant Watson, the president of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada in 1918, quoted, "Our bodies are made of star stuff," and echoed by astronomers through the century, such as Carl Sagan, 1973, The Cosmic Connection, An Extraterrestrial Perspective, in 1980, Cosmos, A Personal Voyage.
The cosmos is also within us. We're made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself.
Further back over the millennia, Pratitya Samupad, in Sanskrit is commonly translated as dependent origination or dependent arising, is the principle that all things arise in dependence upon multiple causes and conditions. Nothing exists as a singular independent entity. Siddhartha Gautama, Buddha, estimated 4th to 6th century BCE, and Tiapai in Sino-Vietnamese, words and meanings translated as interbeing, 21st century then Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. Then there was the Buddhist that walks up to the hot dog vendor and says, "Make me one with everything," Robin Williams. Considering that, including possibilities beyond limitations of labels and languages, and our ability to relate does not communicate the fullness and complexity of ethics, such as Minopimatisawin, Minobimadiziwin, in Anishinaabe-Moan, and others. Intention being to understanding us, our relatives, and relationships. Now, as we continue, let us consider words, labels, and language of relationships. Ship, in English, a word, label used to describe a large seagoing vessel, airplane, or spacecraft. Vessel to traverse. Also, a noun suffix used to indicate a state of being or skill, related to Old English skype, meaning shape. So then, ship, ships, vessels, beings, state of being, related, maybe inter, components being numerous, numerous beings, relating micro to macro biomes. Alan Watts shared worlds within worlds within worlds. Considerations and contributions seemingly infinite, infinitesimal, and incomprehensible, with crew, council, beings, persons, personas, one another, conscience, consciousness, us, that, and our considerations and contributions. Ships also have a bridge that guide, and bridges connect us, one to another.
Computer, lights?
So then, our relationships, us, being vessels we traverse, and being a part of that. Expanding our perspectives of relationships with interrelating, interconnecting beings with bonds, Niels Bohr, Danish physicist, won the Nobel Prize in 1922, shared, "Everything we call real is made of things that cannot be regarded as real. If quantum mechanics hasn't profoundly shocked you, you haven't understood it yet." Studies of beings with bonds, bonds of anthropology and sociology, the study of Homo sapiens, human kinship systems and structures, bonds of ecology, the study of kinship systems and structures, relationships among living organisms, bonds of biology, the study of life, taxonomy, classification of biology, bonds of chemistry, bonds of physics and quantum mechanics, the studies of compositions of matter, cohesion, adhesion, reactions, quanta, cosmos, micro, macro worlds, universes, multiverse, that, unknown, beyond. So then, scaling bonds, these perspectives, which seemingly inclusive of infinitesimal, infinite, and incomprehensible, all the same, let us regard our bonds and interbeings and interrelating and interconnecting us. What is our meaning of that? We relate, realize, which supposedly cannot be regarded as real. Leonardo da Vinci expressed, sapere, vedere, translated as knowing, seeing, and knowing how to see. As we continue in our conditions as conscious, intelligent, and sentient beings, considering our process to progress, our journey, our voyage, our enterprise, to understanding us, maybe we consider being receptive to expanding our perspectives of understanding, our relatives, relations, relationships, relationality, shares Dr. Dwayne Donald, professor in the Faculty of Education at the University of Alberta and Canada Research Chair, and yet not limited to Minopimatisawin, Minobimadiziwin, Pratya Samupad, star stuff of micro-macro scales, bonds, interbeings, interrelating and interconnecting us and everything with everything else. Join us again as we continue to traverse engage, expanding perspective of understanding, and maybe we relate, realizing mission and meaning together. Gratitude for your considerations, contributions, and being. Welcome to Earth and our ships.